begin. What is multi-tenancy? The multi-tenancy actually allows the complex organizations to have different nodes or different tenants, where each tenant can have its own processes. So let's take an example. State of Iowa. It probably has around 40 to 50 agencies. It can be managed at the top from the Department of Administration. But there are various agencies inside the states, like the Department of Transportation, Department of Natural Resources, Department of Corrections. All these agencies are the nodes of this multi-tenant tree. And each one has their own processes, their own learning initiatives which can be deployed out. But at the state level, if the Department of Administration wants to deploy certain mandated training for the entire organizations, they can do that. So basically what we are trying to do here is we are breaking down the tree where each node or each branch of the tree can maintain their own system, can maintain their own area. The administration or the sub-administrations of those team will only be access their data, they can only see their people, and they can only deploy their courses. Now they can share some of the courses and the learning initiative to another node or another agency in the multi-tenant, but at the end of the day, it becomes one single LMS implementation. So the things to consider here about the multi-tenancy of a learning management system and a talent management system. Is it truly an open LMS system? When I say it's open LMS system, that means can I add, can I remove, can I various nodes in my tree? Okay. Can I have specific processes which can be applied? I don't want to take the default process. Maybe it works for certain learning initiatives, but not for all. How I can control the access that only I can see the data for my node. Okay. How can I achieve those? And there are no limitations to this tenant. You can add n number of tenants, and it doesn't have to be having a complex organization using this structure. You can actually accommodate that in my small organization also. I can create multiple nodes where one node is only for IT, one node is only for nursing, one node is only for compliance, so that they can independently start assigning learning initiative to their groups. And me from the HR level, from the top, I can do a company-wide deployment, and I can achieve that. So what are the benefits of this multi-tenancy? You can manage it centralized, as well as you can manage it decentralized. You can scale the implementation. Starting from the 1,000, we have the clients which have 100,000 and above, spread across various regions, various states. I can achieve all that. The most important thing for the finance team is the cost efficient on the budget, because now we can start reusing licenses. It becomes the economy of the scale. As we add more user, the per user cost goes down. Each node can have its own customizable interface. Maybe one department or one agency might have a totally different look and feel. But again, multi-tenancy is not just look and feel. It's not just the logos. We're talking about the processes which can be different between this node. We can also encourage or promote the collaboration. Maybe one agency or one node has created a fancy infection control course. They have an ability to share. That's the beauty about the multi-tenancy. Increase the security measures, because I don't want other people to see my data. Let it be compartment so that only those people or those administrations can see that part of the node. And those are the biggest benefits. There is one more benefit, which is on the reporting side. Now I can start comparing between different sections. I'm going to give you a small snippet demo of what we are talking here. And let's log in here. And I'm going to show you one of the state of Iowa's login pages. Now, this is coming from the state level, which is the DAS, which is Department of Administration. So this is at the centralized level, the entire state. So if I am an administrator of the state level, I can see the entire state. So I'm going to log in into this system here. Let's say, sorry. So I'm logged in here as an administrator of one node of the system. Okay. When I log in as this administrator, you see it is now, even though it is the entire state of Iowa, I am in the HHS region. There are certain type of notifications which are associated to this. Only those agencies or those part will see those notifications. They have their own resources. They can have their own logos associated. They can have their own notifications. So the people in correction will never see this because this is only targeted to those individuals. Okay. Now, if I try to log in from some other agency, and let's log in as that other agency person, I will be put in a totally different node. Now I'm the administrator for the veteran home. Now, when I do that, I do not see those links because that was related to the human services department, and I am in the veteran home. Even though it is a one single LMS, but now this is a two different tenants. Each tenant will see things which are different. The resources are different. Their notifications are different. Their system global announcements are different. Let me quickly go into the advanced view because I wanted to show you the organization tree here. So when I go into the division and when I go into the tree of the division, I only see one veteran home. I do not see the entire state of Iowa because my node or me as a tenant, I'm going to only see my data, my people, or my learning. Now, if I really want, if I create, as I said before, a fancy learning which I can share with other departments. So, in one single way, I can associate a multiple nodes in an organization. Okay. Now I'm going to log in again, and I'm going to show you at the top level how does that look. And I'm going to go into one of my sample ones here. Yeah. And I will, once I log in, now I'm at the centralized level. I'm at the very top level, right? So once I log in into that, I can go into the advanced view. And I can go again in the divisions. And I'm going to see the tree view. Now here, I can see every aspect. I can see the judiciary department, inside the judiciary, the different courts which I have, the workforce development, which is another agency. I can see all the details about the workforce agencies. I can see the entire implementation. So if I go and run a report, and let's say I'm going to take one report, sample report here, which is a completion report, I can now run the reports and compare between agencies to agencies. I can do all that because now I can centralizedly manage the system. Okay. I can also go into the divisions here and individual divisions. And let's say workforce management is one of the nodes. I can go inside workforce development and I can create my own look and feel. So when the people in workforce management comes in, I can have my entire own template. So I can customize. So my people will feel that I have a totally different LMS, but it is a part of a node. Whether I run reports, whether I assign courses, whether I create catalogs, I can now specify that those catalogs is only for certain agencies or a certain part of my organization. But I can create a public catalog for everyone. I can go in here, like here one which I created, I only created a catalog for a sheriff department because only the sheriff department can see the availability of the catalog. I can do all that. And also when I create a learning initiative, now I will have an option to expose that to certain part in my organization. So the training is also putting in a compartment. I don't want to expose all trainings for everyone. It's so confusing. I want to make sure that it is targeted specifically to the specific people. And every aspect, rather from the user side of it, the evaluation side of it, the reminder side of it, or even if I upload a SCOM or AICC content, I can make sure that it is targeted only for that node of my organization. I can say that this is only for Health and Human Service Department, so that that node of the catalog is only available for those people. Less confusion, giving the people what they need, and also obviously utilize the assignment scheduler to deploy the training so there are no more manual assigning of the courses. And at the same time, trying to get all my reports to be scheduled so that I can schedule based upon the individual nodes. So that's the beauty of the multi-tenancy. Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint. So what we have learned. So we talked about multi-tenancy, where we can deploy the entire learning management system and the talent management system in my organizations as different nodes. Why it is important? Because not every node of my organization or not every section of my organization requires the same training. And I'm not just talking about content, I'm talking about the process flows. Some agencies like correction, their process flows are different when you try to trigger uh, um, or training. Maybe there are some approvals which are little different from what the DOT is doing. You can accommodate all that in one single implementation. You do not need two different instances, because we want to compare at the top level that which department, which facility, which agencies are doing better and which ones are not, so that we need some more help in deploying those trainings. That is one of the most important thing about multi-tenancy. The benefits, the biggest benefit is collaboration. The biggest benefit is reporting. The biggest benefit is trying to share the information. If one agency is little bit stronger or little bit knowledgeable in deployments of certain training, how we can bank on that, how we can utilize their content and change that content so that it can be associated for my people. Sometimes, not always, the online training is a beneficial. Sometimes the instructor-led training is beneficial for some group of people. How do we accommodate so that at the end of the day, we want to make sure that there is a lot of employee engagement, and the people are trained in the way they want to be trained? Okay, we discussed that through our one of the example or the case study for the state of Iowa. We have the similar thing which we have done for the state of Kansas. State of Kansas has gone one step ahead. They have also implemented the talent management system as a multi-tenancy. That means from the DFA, which is the Department of Administration, they have deployed their PRF, which is a performance review form. That performance review form is distributed for all agencies, all employees across the state of Kansas. But not all agencies does it in the same way. Some agencies have a different flavor of that performance review. Not all the pillars are the same. There might be certain competencies which needs to be tracked. There are certain steps which needs to be done, because in the performance review, it's not always the user, employee and a manager. Maybe sometimes I need to get my reviewer involved. Sometimes I need to get the subordinate involved so that it becomes a complete 360-degree evaluation. Sometimes we need a special evaluations in certain cases. Sometimes we need a probation base. Sometimes some of my folks are working on the freeway. They need a different way. They need auto populations so that certain pillars are automatically populated. So they don't spend time on adding their personal goals or direct impact goals versus the organization goals, which is cascaded down from the leaders. Maybe even the window of evaluation is different. Most of the people do it at the anniversary. Some people do it at the start of the year. State of Kansas does it October to October. Little different. They are not the same. Or each agency also can be different. That's the beauty of a multi-tenancy, because everything doesn't matter how they are different, how diversified each agency is, but the system is one. Let the system take care of it. Let the system give an ability to change processes, and let the system adapt the process rather than the organization or the nodes or the children of those organizations change the process based upon what is dictated by the system or even by the centralized committee. And that's the beauty of the multi-tenancy. And that's what we have talked about today. If you have any information and wanted to schedule a detailed demo around this, please reach out to us at info@learnsoft.com, or please log in, or please go to learnsoft.com, and you'll find a demo page or a request for a demo page, and we will be happy to talk in detail to tailor make your organization needs. And that's the beauty of LearnSoft's architecture.